Hello and welcome to my channel called aKnittersSoul. As the name suggests, this channel is primarily about knitting. My name is Elo and I am coming to you from Oslo, Norway. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. It's always lovely to have you spending time with me. If you're new, I do hope that you find something to your liking. And if you do, don't hesitate hitting on subscribe button and hitting notification bell, as you will be then notified as soon as my next episode goes up. As per usual, I will start with a little bit of admin. I will, as always, be linking all patterns mentioned down below, yarn shops, yeah, pretty much anything that I mentioned that is linkable, I will try to link it. And if I do miss out on something, do not hesitate on reaching out and ask me about it. Social media, I'm mostly active on Instagram and Ravelry, and on both of those platforms I am called aKnittersSoul. I also have a Ko-Fi account which is also called aKnittersSoul, and I will link the handles down below. As per usual, thank you so much to every single one of you who has left a comment, and especially special thanks to those of you who have left really heartfelt comments, as they have meant a lot to me. I've had a little bit of a rough month, but we might touch in on that later on, maybe not, we'll see. But yeah, is there anything else adminning? No, I don't think so. I think what we'll start off with is that I promised a giveaway last time to anyone who left a comment on my previous episode, and the prize was this set of really cute stitch markers and stitch stoppers from Sofakroken, and we will do just that. We'll do that live. I have prepared everything. I put in the link, and I will just push on start. And the winner is Ingrid Brandt ZG4699. So you have, oh, it's focusing on my face. You have won the stitch stoppers and stitch marker and progress keeper. All you have to do is reach out to me with your full name and address, and you can choose to either do it on Ravelry or on Instagram. Both of them are just fine by me. So congratulations again. You have won this beautiful little sachet of goodies, and this is by Sofakroken. Also about admin a bit, I'm going a little back and forth. I'm just going to address it since I suddenly came to think of it. I've had a few feedbacks on my sound, that you have trouble hearing me. That is really regrettable, that you're struggling with hearing me. I haven't been able to catch it myself while I'm editing, and I haven't either noticed that there is any problem with the sound on my devices, like when I've gone in on my iPad or my phone. So it's been hard to detect that there is anything wrong with the sound, and if you've been one of the unlucky ones who struggled with the sound, I'm so sorry that you had that issue, and hopefully I have fixed this problem this time. I hope so. But yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully you can hear me fine. It does seem on my camera screen that it's picking up sound good, but we'll see, I guess. Today I'm not wearing anything knitted. as it is quite warm outside, and this room does tend to get quite warm when the sun is coming around the house. So it's quite warm here already. I do not have any heating on at the very moment, and that's why I didn't put on anything knitted. I don't have any garments finished either, but I do have quite a few finished items, finished objects this time, so we're gonna jump straight into that. Hopefully this is not gonna make too much sound. Ooh, I've done a little bit of a different setup this time as well, so I'm trying different things this time. Hopefully it's for the better and not for the worse. Anyway, the first finished object I'm gonna show you are my first set of Baker's Twine. It's 2 of them. I'm really happy with the way they turned out. They're really nice and thick. And as I was telling you last time, I have a plan of making these hostess gifts, as I do have a group of friends to meet up from time to time to chitter chatter, to knit, to craft, you know, whatever floats anybody's boat, so to say. Can be a crochet or embroidery. And yeah, so I have this one set done. I will quickly grab the yarns that I used. Okay, what I'm gonna mention very quickly, because I don't remember if I mentioned it last time or not, but I have reduced the size of the pot holder by 4 stitches in total, like 1 in each of these panels, so to say, because my experience has been that I tend to run out of yarn, like a 50-gram ball, just before getting to the end of it, so having to just break into another ball at the end of a pot holder. And it doesn't like make that big of a difference in size by removing just like 1 stitch in each of these panels, because it's still like good size. I mean, my hand is totally covered by it. That's why I guess it's better to show it. Yeah, so I'm using saffron by Drops, and let me see, I have used up what I had left. Is pretty much like a ball of this size. Now I don't remember, I think I might have weighed it, but I don't remember how many grams it is, and my weight is too far away. I'm not gonna weigh it right now. I can write it on screen, like the approximate amount of what I have left after a pot holder, with my tension, with my needle size, and with my yarn. But yeah, I used 3 strands of saffron, and they were the color petrol, which is number 51, color turquoise, which I just showed you, and color 30, which is turquoise, and then the last one was a icy white. I'm not seeing the label, am I? No, that's the off-white one. There I have the one. The minty ice, no, the gray white is number, how did I say 50 before? No, that was 51, wasn't it? Yeah, because this one is number 50. This was a icy minty there color. And I must say, I was a little bit skeptical at one point, thinking like, did I really choose the right colors? But I do love the end result. I love the color play in there. I like the pop of light blue that almost looks like white compared with other blue ones, especially on the screen maybe, but it is, I think it's really pretty. Really pretty. It's a quick knit, so if you need quick knits, I can absolutely recommend it. It's a very, very simple pattern. Like I said, it gives a really lovely thick texture, and I'm gonna be knitting more of them for sure. So that is my first finished object. Yeah. Am I gonna go into... No, I'm gonna leave that for later on. Let me just pop that back in there. And so, and yeah, the bag it lives in is something is a bag that I won in a raffle. It's made by Twine from the yarn shop called Garnfene. Really good sizable bag. I have quite a few balls of cotton yarn in there, which I have plans of making dishcloth out of, and some more baker's twines as well. Oh yeah, and the white was this undyed natural, I believe it is. Yeah, it's off-white number 18. So yeah, those are the little handles on those pot holders. I'm gonna have to spend more time with those pot holders, as you have seen before, but at least it's 2 of them now. I'll keep it there because I have something more to talk about a little later. Then I showed you last time that I was working on a preemie blanket. That is also something I have finished since then. I have washed it, I have blocked it, I have not cut away all the ends. That I tend to leave a little bit of a tail when I'm sewing in ends, and I cut them away after I have washed it and blocked it. Washed them and blocked them, yeah. But I haven't done that. I've actually forgotten about it. But it is done. Ooh, it's hard to show. It's a very simple blanket. You start off with 3 stitches and you increase at the beginning of each row till you have reached desired size. Then you start decreasing on one side so you get a square corner, and then you decrease at the beginning of that, like, one side, and you keep on increasing on the other side till you have reached again the desired length of it, and then you start decreasing on both of the sides, or like instead of like, okay, now I got out of because you start decreasing at the beginning of the row. Yeah, because you was either decreasing or increasing. In the beginning you increase on both sides, like when you at the start of the row. Then you start decreasing on one side, like in the beginning of one row, and on one. Jesus Christ, really good at this. Increasing on both, then decreasing and increasing, then decreasing on both beginnings of the rows. Hope that makes sense. And I've also knitted it on a quite loose gauge, as there's something that they ask for. So it's quite see-through, as you can see. Yeah, you can see me through it, because they want it to be quite airy, quite like breathable. And yeah, so I'm thinking I might also knit maybe a body, not a body, a little sweater, a hat, some socks. We will see. I used, what did I'm a little bit scattered today. What did I do now? How do you lose things so quickly, hello? Oh, there it is. I used Baby Merino by Merinor, and this is the colorway 090. It is a dusty blue, I would say. I still have a little bit of it left, so I used in total 126 grams for the blanket. But yeah, I have some merino in some yellow tones, I have some brown tones, so I will probably add those to this yarn, as I do not have enough for a lot. Maybe a hat out of this, or socks for sure. So yeah, so that was another quick finished object. Well, quick, my explanation took like half a year, it feels like. And the bag it has lived in is by Bed of Roses, and I've had it for quite a few years, and I thought it was quite fitting with this sort of, it has those gray blue colors in there, so I know what I have in there. It's like the colors coordinate at least quite well. Then I have, yeah, actually I will take the socks. I have knitted quite a few socks, and I take them, I'll go through them first, and then I'll take the yeah. I showed you last the vanilla socks I was knitting on, which are these pink and white socks. Just a simple sock with a gusset. My words are lacking today. Maybe not the best day on podcast for podcasting, but hey ho. I did the same heel that I love to do, because I think it's just so pretty. And I know that a couple of people have mentioned that they don't wear so much, or they don't get so much wearage on the heels, that it's more under the toes. But I do see from my case that I don't like heavily wear them out on the heels, but I do see that I do have some wear and tear there, so I love having it there. I have considering maybe putting this reinforced type of knitting with the slip stitches also under the heels, but also under the toes. I'm yet to do so, but that is the plan. The yarns that I used are Arvetta, and I closed it and stuff. And the colorways are 318, this ballerina pink, and then I have this old style Arvetta classic label on my 101, which is just really an off-white again. So these two colors, I thought it was just a beautiful match. I wanted them to be like not bright stripes, but like soft stripes. And yeah, and I like to, I don't know if I mentioned before, but I like to use hair clips on my yarn balls to keep them from unraveling when I have them in the bag. If you didn't know the tip, that's a nice tip. I like this the best when it comes to how I gather my yarn balls. So yeah, I used, let me see, 33 grams of the white and 31 grams of the pink, and these are approximately a size 39, and I do knit my socks on 225, which is my preferred go-to. And I do also my tuple cast on there as per usual, because I just love that finish. I love the stretchiness it gives me. Super happy with these. I think they're so pretty. So pretty. And did I mention the bag? No, I didn't. These are were in my Sømmasont, which is a Norwegian-based maker duo that is in Kvelde, which is actually this. They are gonna be from, actually don't know from when, but they are gonna be next door neighbors to the yarn shop Garnfene. So that's gonna be fun, because anytime I visit Garnfene, then I can go and have a look in their shop as well. Yeah, those were my vanilla socks. Also, I had a question about what is a vanilla sock. From what I've understood, vanilla sock is just like a plain Jane sock. Whatever you have as a go-to simple sock, can be ribbed, can be plain with like just stockinette stitch, but it's just like a plain Jane. There's no like laces or color work or anything. It's like whatever you go to as your go-to sock, which is plain as vanilla, that is your vanilla sock. Yeah, and I do like doing my gusset heel because that fits me the most. But I mean, why did I say that? Never mind. Let's go to my next finished object, which is another pair of socks. And this is this was partially because I wanted to try out how it was to knit a sock with a mohair. I haven't done that before. I'm not a huge fan of thick socks or like knitting thick socks because I like using thinner socks, and I don't mind the time it takes. But there has been a lot of talk about knitting socks with mohair, at least here in Norway, especially maybe for the last half a year. But I've been following knitting traditions in Inga for quite a while, and she tends to add a strand of mohair to her socks because she likes to use mostly untreated pure wool blends, like as in like she would prefer making socks out of like 100% wool, and to strengthen that she would add a strand of mohair so that they wouldn't like wear through straight away. So I thought like it's about time I try out that, because it's been such a craze in Norway. So nothing very special about this really. They are again a plain Jane vanilla sock with my gusset heel, with my tubular cast on, which you almost can't tell, but you really see the halo. Yeah, and the regular toe, like nothing special there either. They're super soft, super cozy. And yeah, I have two of them. The color is blowing out a little bit. It is a warmer green, and it shows, it's maybe there you can almost see the color. It's quite a soft, nice green. You've seen this green before in another pair of socks that I knitted. Not that it is of any huge importance, but let me see. Let me pull out. This is what I have left of it. It is Arvetta, and it is colorway 243, and this is all I have left of it, which is not a lot. I'm really happy with it. And I have paired it together with this military green, which is colorway 147, also like an older Arvetta label. But I love this green. I think it's a really, it comes out a little bit darker on the screen, but it is like a military dark green. I think it's actually called military green, that's what I'm saying, so might be wrong. Anyway, it's 147, and that one I have. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the light green I paired together with Kit Silk, Drops Kit Silk, this sort of pale green, which is the colorway 18, and this military green I paired together, also Drops Kit Silk, and this is colorway 19. And I think it turned out really nice. Really pretty. I can pull them. Actually, I didn't think about it before, but I have my sock blockers. Maybe it's easy to show. There. A less flimsy. So this is again about size 38 to 9, as that is what me and my girls, my sister-in-law seem to have. We are all pretty much the same size in feet, which is really fun because then I can just knit up a whole bunch of different socks in those sizes kind of thing, and I always find somebody to give it to, which is kind of fun. And in this, yeah, is there more to say there? I did a regular heel. I didn't do any reinforced because I'm a bit curious how these socks wear and tear, kind of just being a plain heel. And I think I used 3mm needles. I was gonna say 3.5, but it says 3mm on my Ravelry page. Super quick, super easy. I did 48 stitches. That seems to fit fine. I usually do a 64 stitch sock. But yeah. Happy. I think it's super sweet. Let me put them there. And then I still had some green yarns left, and I thought like, maybe I'll make another quick pair of socks with like the same method, with having a strand of fingering weight and a strand of silk mohair. So I needed these. And this actually, when I first started, I thought like, I went through different plans. I had different plans for what the, so to say, main color would be for the foot, and I started with 2 different colors and didn't like the way they were looking, and you can just barely tell, but the reason why I ended with this combination in end, which is like this dark green, which is the same as in this sock, and then the light green. The reason why I ended with this color combination in the end, I'm trying to see if this one of the socks shows it better than another. Well, here you can see really, like, is that I wanted something bright at the bottom of this green, and this yellow, which is Arvetta. No, it's not. It's Shawl, Lang Yarns Shawl, in colorway. Where's the colorway? I think it's the 83.0249, which is just this really like deep yellow kind of color. Yeah, it's quite accurate on the camera there. I wanted to be yellow, and I was looking at this skein of mohair that I had, which looked quite yellowish. Okay, I'm like all over the place with my explanation. I bought this skein of kit silk a little while back because I had a plan for it in another project. For some reason that project didn't come to be, and I don't have that plan of using that. And also when I received this yarn, I saw that it had cool, yeah, you can't really tell, it looks very yellow here, but it has these green speckles in there. You can see that quite well, don't you? Yeah. So when I started thinking that I wanted to have these bright yellow feet on this sock, but I wanted to tie it together somehow, then I realized that this probably would be perfect because of the green speckles in there. And in my eyes, I think it turned out just perfect because it does have the yellow in there, I mean kit silk here. Words, brain work. I think it's a good combination. I really like the end result of it. Because those green speckles in this kit silk, I forgot to say kit silk Erle from Sandnes, it is picking up both the yellow and then adding those speckles of green in there, which I think is really cool. And if you're interested in that yarn, it's colorway 4015. And yeah, I'm super happy with the result. I think they're super cool. I was first thinking that I might give them away as a gift, but I'm actually contemplating keeping it for myself because I just love the way they turn out. Like, it makes me so happy. I don't know. But yeah, again the same 48 stitches, regular. No, I actually did the slip stitch heel on this one, because I was thinking that I would love to not mimic but pick up kind of, because I did, as you see, a 2x2 ribbing here, so I wanted to kind of pick up that, so to say, pick up that in the heel. That was my thought process. Yeah. Am I like all over the place today? The answer is probably yes. Hope you're okay with that. I don't know, I'm just feeling a little bit scatterbrained, but I just decided that I'm gonna have to podcast today and just go with the flow, and hopefully it will turn out fine. Otherwise something else comes up and something else comes up and I never get to podcast, because you know, life happens. It doesn't always suit to do those things, to take that time out of the day. But hey, let me see, do I have more? Oh yeah, I have one more finished object, and that's this beauty here. If you follow me on Instagram, you have already seen it. This is a test knit, and I'll show it close before I'll talk more. This is a test knit I did for Catharina. She has a podcast here on YouTube called Gunnis Englistrick. Oh, was not smart having a pink top today. I didn't think about that. It's disappearing in that top. It is her newest design called Shawl, which is... oh, my mind is blanking now. Is it garland in English? Anyway, I will link it down below. Shawl. It's I was gonna say it's a nice little pattern for Shawlette, but she has 6 different sizes, and really it is adjustable in a very simple way. You just have to it's 11 stitches repeat. The lace is 11 stitches in that way. So if you want to make it even bigger than her biggest size, then you just keep on working on the main body, which is in garter stitch, until you have a number that is divisible by 11, so to say. Yeah, well, plus the edge stitches, but you know, if you once you purchase the pattern, it'll make sense because it is a very simple one. The yarns there that I've used for the main body, I was gifted the yarn, or like I was given a yarn for the test knit by Catharina, and that is a sock yarn that she has colored herself. So that's her label. It's 100 grams, 420 meters, 75% wool and 25% nylon, and it is this sort of soft bubblegum pink. It's blowing out a little bit on the camera. It's better now, but it's even a little softer than that. It's I would say it has a little bit of a peachy quality to it, but still more to the bubblegum kind of color than, yeah. It's a soft pink. I like that. Warm pink. And when I was knitting the main bit here, and I hadn't even actually landed on the size I wanted to make either, then I, again, why am I adding that? There's no context to what I'm saying. No, there is actually. I came to think, yeah, okay. I saw another test knitter. She had the different color lace border on her shawl, and I really like that look. I don't know why I'm saying all these things today, because I saw also Catharine's versions. She had several where she had like one color, she had where the main body was color, like more of a speckled yarn, and then one color at the edge. I don't know, but anyway, God, all over the place. Målfrid, I'm thinking about you. She's a podcaster. She's called Madame. So I reached out to her because I think where I'm getting to with this whole babble of mine is that I saw that she had finished her shawl, and I was asking her for numbers of how much she had used of different kind of yarns. So I reached out to her. I think that was what I was getting to. Maybe I'll cut this whole segment out because there's a whole lot of warm air for very little. But shout out to Målfrid. Anyway, when I was knitting on this main bit there, my eyes kept on being drawn to this yarn here, which is a luxury merino yarn by Kvitlamme. It's called Äppleblomst or Apple Flowers, and I thought that would be so pretty because it has some pink in there, it has some green speckles, it has some brownish speckles in there, and I thought it would be so pretty. And I had just enough of it in my stash. I think I wrote that I used 15 grams, but I'm not sure if that is correct. I'm gonna have to look into that to be sure that I'm... Yeah, actually no, it is right, because I still... No, it's not 15 grams. I used 9 grams on this one, so it doesn't take a lot of yardage. So if you have those little nuggets with not much left, you can get quite a lot of lace out of it. I guess is what I'm going to. But I had a tiny little nugget left. I do not have that nugget anymore, as I gifted that to somebody else who had an idea of... I don't know if she was gonna knit exactly this. I think so. But I thought, like, I mean 6 grams is not a lot, so I gifted that to her so that she would have enough. She had also some leftovers, and yeah, I gifted that to her, so I don't have the label and I don't have the nugget anymore. But super happy with this. It is live on Ravelry's pattern, and as I said, it has 6 sizes, so you can make a tiny little shawlette, or you can make something bigger. And also it is very easily adjustable with the size of needles you use, the type of yarn you use. Mine is sock yarn, which is fingering weight, but you could easily use something that is definitely thicker or thinner. And yeah, it is also beautiful, like if you stripe it. I also seen a version which is like faded. So many options, so many versions you can do, and so it's very good for stash busting or using that beautiful skein of yarn that you've been kind of holding on to. Or maybe you have like knitted a pair of socks of a skein and you have still some left that you don't know what to make of, and you don't feel like making socks. Most probably you can make one of these. So yeah, highly recommendable. Beautiful pattern, simple, mindless, beautiful to grab and go and have as a travel project. So all in all, just a wonderful project that I can recommend highly. Let me see. Okay, then I have come over to the land of whips. Well, actually I do have another finished object, but I'm leaning towards maybe unraveling it, and that is this dishcloth. I have not sewn in the ends. I haven't done like any finishing touches to it. I followed a recipe because I was going back and forth trying different things, wasn't like sure what I wanted, how I wanted it to be. So I just followed the instructions for this one. If what I been thinking about after finishing it, that I would probably, because I have gone with the measures in the pattern that I followed. I will link it here because I have forgotten to make a note of it. If I would make it again, I would probably like shorten it so it would be square instead of this kind of undefined yeah, I would probably make it more square. I would like that look better if I would do this again. One of the reasons why I ended up trying this one is that I thought like I wanted something quick and fast, and you know, not be spending a lot of time on knitting this dishcloth. But then again, I thought like, what is the hurry? Why don't I figure out like some beautiful patterns that I enjoy knitting and have as a grab and go kind of project, or on the go project, same as I have with socks. So not decided, like I said, if I'm gonna keep it or unravel it, so we'll see about that. But I do have plans on making dishcloth, and I will tab into that a little bit later as well, because there is a kind of a knit along happening. And oh, I forgot, I have another there's a knit along going on, which is gonna be a long knit along. But yeah, I will try to remember and touch into that later on. I have another pair of Baker's Twines. I totally forgot that I had finished another pair. I thought I was almost done with them, that's why I didn't. Yeah, anyway, Baker's Twines one more time. Yeah, 2 of them. The same with these off-white rings, and the same with that I have reduced with 1 stitch for the width of it. And the yarns that I've used are, where did I put them? I will, yeah, the yarns that I use are the off-white that I have in there, which was it number 18? I can't remember. Then I have this sort of pale yellow corn color 62. It looks more green on the screen than it is. And then I have this color number 66, which is this beautiful deep yellow. And those 3 together gave this beautiful yellow. Yeah, it shows up a little bit more green on the screen, but it is a bit of a warmer tone. I absolutely love and adore this. Love the yellow tones. This is like so me. And the pattern is by DUCATHI. I've probably written that on the screen long time ago. So yeah, I do have another pair of Baker's Twines finished. I don't know how I managed to forget that I was finished. Let's see. Let me put this away. Oh yeah, and I also, since I have so many different bowls and different pot holders in here, in there, then I actually started to have like this tiny little bag that I bought from Giverny to separate like a dishcloth that I was working on, so that the yarns wouldn't get all tangled up. So that was that. Now we're to the works in progress. I think at least I have not made any progress on my Gardens of Giverny, so I'm thinking I will skip over them. Actually, I'm not gonna spend any time on talking about them. I will come back to them next time, and also I will come back to why I haven't been working on that, I guess, or you'll understand why I haven't worked on that. Then my other work in progress is my Magnolia Bloom. Yeah, Magnolia Bloom by Camilla. No, yeah, Camilla Bad. I have added a sleeve on it. There it is. And I have picked up the stitches and barely started knitting on this arm. So it's not much left. It's a really quick knit. So it's amazing that I haven't finished it yet since last. But there is again reason for that as well. Just to run you very quickly, I am working with Drops Kit Silk Unicolor number 40. This is beautiful dusty pink that is not showing off correctly, but that's fine. And I have this sort of powder pink which is called 33, and it's Drops Air. And those together give this beautiful, yeah, it's blowing out, like it is not showing the color correctly at all. It's giving this beautiful color. I absolutely love it. And I did try it on today just to make sure with the sleeve length and everything, but I was covering my head with like a silk scarf so that I wouldn't get it all in my face and be itchy and bothered later on. But it's such a beautiful pattern. I think it's so cute. I'm loving it, and I will probably finish it by today because it's silly not to finish it, because it is a super quick knit. I'm knitting it on 7 millimeters. In the main, but like the main part is in 7 millimeters, and the ribbing is done in 6 millimeters, which is 10 US 10, size 10. It doesn't show me the size for the 7 millimeters, so can't tell you. Yeah, absolutely loving it. Yeah, I think I mentioned last time, but what I did of modification on this one is that because I'm working with 4 strands at a time all the time, but for the neckline I did 2 strands at a time, so that it wouldn't be so super thick, because I do like the look of that finish on this particular sweater, but I didn't want the huge bulkiness of it. So, but yeah, it's coming along, and I can feel that it's starting to itch my nose, so I'm actually gonna put it away a little bit over there, to the side. Yeah, on the topic of alpaca yarns, I have been destashing quite a lot, just because the alpaca doesn't work with me anymore, unfortunately. So, but it's okay. I mean, there's a lot of other beautiful yarns to work with, so it's not a big deal. Then my very last working project, if I have... Okay, I'm gonna have to talk about another thing, but that's not important now. My last working project is actually this cute little dress there. It is a pattern by Sandnes Garn. It is from their... yeah, it's actually the same on the front there. It's their magazine 1705. It's a very simple dress, but it has those little details of a little bit of lace here and a little bit of lace around her, like the sleeve caps. And that pretty much came to be because I have at one point in time purchased some colorways, or like thin linen in a colorway that was not to be produced anymore, so that has the red cross on that. And this is not really a color I don't know what I was thinking. I probably wasn't looking in the mirror of any sorts and doing any references with my face, but I feel like this color is a little too pale and not really maybe me totally. So I thought I'll make a this children's dress. I mean, look how cute it is, for my niece. And I have come this far. So I guess I've done in a way the fun part about it, which is the lace part, lace bit. Very simple lace. I'm loving the fabric I'm getting. I have gone down 0.25, so it calls for size needles for size number 3, but I'm working with 275s, and I'm getting like a fabric that I'm happy with, and yeah, about this gauge that I'm supposed to have. I think I have maybe 1 stitch more, so it's gonna be a little bit bigger than it's called for, which is perfect because I'm knitting the size 2 and she's turning 2 in autumn, and hopefully I will have this done in quite a short period of time. I'm probably gonna have it done because this is gonna be definitely also something I can put in my purse and like knit on whenever, wherever. There's some decreasing that I'm doing, but that's like not a lot to pay. Well, like it's not difficult. And yeah, the yarn was Tin Lina, as I said. The on this yarn, and the colorway is 4612. It's sort of like this soft lilac color. It's more pink actually when it shows off on the screen, but yeah, so I'm really looking forward to working on that, getting that done. And it's nice to use up yarn in the stash for something pretty and beautiful, something I know it's gonna be cherished and used, and you know, it's a joy, definitely, to knit on something that's so pretty. I think with that, no, that was this one thing. I'm gonna have to reach over one time. And in here I'm gonna have to insert some pictures because I don't have those socks at home anymore. A while back I knitted socks by Sari Nordlund called Lemon and Lavender, I believe it is. I will link it. And I gifted them to one of my girls, and she's been wearing them a whole lot. And then she was at home here, you know, a couple weeks ago now, and she was wearing them, and I was like, oh, that looks like a hole in your sock. And she's like, yes, I've been wearing through, like really thin now. And I was like, well, let me mend them for you. And she's like, oh yeah, would you mind doing that? Would you mind doing that? I was like, yeah, of course. And I started looking at them, and I was like, there is so much more wear and tear in those socks than I first saw, and like in that glimpse that I was like, I might just well cut off the toes and knit new toes for those. So I did. So I have cut off 2 toes, and as you see on one of them it's so worn through that there's actually a hole in there. I mean, I could have mended it, but I just saw there was so much like wear and tear like all throughout. Wait, I'm not gonna be able to show you. Let me see if I put this mending. Yeah, maybe you can see. Well, no, you cannot. No, you can't tell, which is fine. I can see it. But yeah, I mean, I had still left I had more of this yarn left that I had made the socks originally out of. So I cut off the toes. I started from I cut off also the last yellow line, so I actually did knit a new yellow line, and then I knitted the toes. And once I was done with that, I was like, but the heels are kind of worn as well. I probably could have cut those out as well, but I decided to mend them and use my little mending tool. And I think they turned out just really, really fine. Like, I really loved that you can kind of see that they've been mended, but it's not super obvious, you know, because I haven't been matching the colors. It is a gray, like, not a gradient, but the color changes. It's a color changing yarn, so I didn't try to match it or anything. And you can see that the one sock is kind of matching, the other one is definitely not matching on the toe, but you can still kind of tell that it's the same yarn. And I like that on the heels there's a slight difference in the color, that you can kind of tell that it's mended, but it's not super obvious. And yeah, I was thinking like, you know, I haven't mended a lot, I must say. I have not, but it was very satisfying to do that. And also you get more use out of, or like more wear out of those socks, like rather than if I would have, because my first like instinct was like, well, I have knitted up a whole bunch of socks and let me just give her a new pair of socks and these we can toss. But then it's like you're throwing away a half good sock pretty much, you know, because the leg is now worn out, there's a lot of other parts that is not worn out, it's just the toes at the time. That's what was kind of had noticed properly. So I'm really happy with having done that, because it prolongs the life of the socks. And you know, it didn't take much yarn to fix that little bit there, to get new toes on that and to mend the little heel, so to say. And I was talking to, well, I haven't asked if I'm okay to mention her, but I was talking to somebody, and like I sent a Snapchat, and she's like, yeah, I do that all the time with my man's socks, or like her husband's socks, and if they're worn out even more, then like she cuts off the leg of it and sends it to her mother, I think it was, and then the mother makes slippers with those, which is like clever. Like it's I guess I would say it's part of being sustainable and using the yarns to the max. And especially if they are like, I mean, okay, this is not a hand-dyed yarn, this is a yarn that I purchased from Hobby, which is like a big brand and stuff. It's not anything in that sense, nothing special, but again, we spend so much money on our yarns, and we spend so many hours on knitting our garments, that I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's just like, you know, I want to remind everybody that let's make most out of the things we make by mending them, taking care of them. Like, I know people do that, I know, but it's not as difficult. I guess it's what I'm trying to get to, is that it's not that difficult. It doesn't take that much time, because it takes less time to like knit a new toe than it does a new whole sock, and it doesn't take that much time to mend a heel than it does to knit a whole new sock. So I'm like on a lot of rants today. Hopefully that's giving you something to think about. Sustainability. So if you made it all the way to this point, woohoo! Congratulations, that was the knitting part. I think I'm gonna go over to acquisitions now. So if the knitting content is all that you're here for, thank you for being here. I hope to see you next time. And if you like acquisitions as much as I do, then stay along for a little longer. I'm just trying to think where to start from, and I'm also realizing I forgot to bring some yarn. I can very shortly tell about them. I was to I guess it's sort of like a flea market. It's where we in Norwegian schools we have this marching band that are pretty much sponsored, I think. Mostly sponsored, let's say that, because I don't have all the facts, but mostly sponsored by the sort of flea markets that they have twice a year. And when I say flea market, it's like, kind of like people in a neighboring area, they donate things to the school or to the band, the marching band, and then they sell those things, as in like it's a huge garage sale, but it's on the grounds of a school where the marching band belongs to. And I went there, and they have like, you know, anything from you know, candle holders or books or lamps or shoes or whatever, to furniture, and you have clothes, and you have like people give away their old curtains or yarns, and that's where I come in with my like yarn purchase. But I will show them next time, or maybe I'll put the picture. I'll do that maybe. Let's see how much editing time it's gonna take, and if my editing program is actually playing along nice. It didn't last time, so I actually cut up a few things that I was supposed to put there. Anyway, I bought yarns there. There was one yarn that looked like it probably was a sock yarn, which was really nice, and this speckled colorful thingy, and it was like a like maybe 10 centimeters of knitted rib of a cuff of sorts, and the rest was just canned up in a ball. And I thought it was so pretty that I was like, I have to bring that with me. And also I found some, I believe it's Bulgarian cotton yarn, which I thought this is perfect because it was in a brown and beige colorways, I think it was. And that is something I had thought about purchasing anyway, because I know I have a friend in my knitting group who is very fond of those kind of earthy brownish colors, and I thought like, ooh, that would be cool for a baker's twine. So I bought those two, and also it's a yarn I never seen before, never used before, so extra fun, extra interesting, I would claim that is. So that was my, but it's not gonna be in chronological order, it's just this one of my purchases that I've gotten since last. Also, I purchased some yarn. I was gifted some yarn by Catharina, but I also purchased some yarn from her. I bought this is sock yarn, also colored by her. It's this sort of semi-solid neon yellow. It's a sock yarn, did I say that? Yeah. And I thought it was so pretty. I love this yellow. It makes me so happy. It's blowing out a little bit. It's a maybe, wait, if I do like that, it's a little bit deeper and then it shows off, but it's a beautiful, beautiful yellow. I really, really like that. And then I also bought a skein of also dyed by Giverny, but it's dyed on Rauma Lammull, which is 100 grams to 470 meters, and it's, oh, that's okay, it's not as bright. Not that it would be wrong if it was, but it's this beautiful kind of a corally color. I seem to have a thing for this sort of corally color these days. I'm not sure what I'm gonna make of it, but I thought it was just so beautiful. Maybe like a shawl of sorts, or maybe something else. I will have to think about it. Maybe something like a Nilfreda, or maybe a ranunculus, you know, something like that. I will have to look into like how many meters I need and if I can make it work. I thought it was just so pretty, and I do like the lightness and the warmth of pure wool. So those two I bought from her. And also I have bought some more Twine. This is sort of a very neutral beigey white. It's not beige, I don't know. It's colorway 1015. I'm having trouble like describing what this is. It's like, I was gonna say chalk, but it's not chalk. It's a bit warmer color, kind of. It's not white. It's not beige. Not sure what the colorway is called, but anyway, I bought that. Ooh, this one, we're talking about the flea market. I also picked up a book which is called Kunststrik, which is like lace knitting, because I do like lace knitting, and I have some plans of trying to knit up a few more like doilies, and because I like, I mean, like, this is also colorways so pretty, like, but the design I think is just amazingly beautiful. I love those. This is like my happy spot. Like, I love making doilies like that, like this one as well. And you know, color, you can choose whatever color you want, and there's so many beautiful designs. And yeah, so this is very possible that I will knit out of in the coming future, and not maybe sometime during the summer when it gets very hot and it's nice to work with a little bit lighter yarns. Next one is not a purchase, it's more of a gift, because I have been destashing my alpaca yarns. So I gifted my beautiful Drops Air in this beautiful yellow color that I just loved and adored to somebody who tolerates alpaca and who loves yellow as well. And then I met her a little while later, or was it the same? No, actually no, we had spoken about that. Maybe like I had asked her if she would like to take over those yarns from me, because, you know, I can't use them, and she was very willing to. And when we met up, she had this yarn with her for me, and this is a yarn I have not worked with before. It says hand dyed in Norway, Marnies. I don't know of this dyer. Don't know if they are still active or not. I'm gonna have to check that out. But it's a pure merino, 100% merino yarn, 100 grams, 400 meters. And it's not as bright yellow as it's showing up. It's more of a soft, or like mellow kind of, like, I would say more of a corn color. Not as bright of a yellow. It's a pretty yellow. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna make out of it. So that I'm looking forward to working with. And I also bought another set of Knit Pro knit blockers, because I've had one set, but I've felt many times that I could benefit from having another set. And I do have my wires, but sometimes I just like to use these blockers here because they're so quick and easy to use. And also those I also bought myself new blocking mats, because I have been using this set here, which is kind of like this kitty mats, which you like build into like a rectangle with all these different colors. It's so super bright, and it's worked just fine. I've had it for many years, and I bought it like really inexpensively at one point back in the day. And but I've sometimes felt that, you know, I don't have enough bits to build it big enough, because maybe the shawl has been big that I've knitted, and, you know, I've come short with the blocking mats is what I'm trying to say. So what I did is that I saw there was an offer for these knitting blocking mats from Hobby. So I bought 2 sets of those. And what's good about them is that they are not as thick. You see, they're a little bit slimmer than the other ones. And they also have those lines. That's the only thing I was kind of annoyed about, because they are not inches and they are not centimeters. They're just sort of like this odd kind of width, if I measured correctly. Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I could gather, they weren't like exact measurement of any sorts. But it's fine. It's nice to have those lines to go after. But I bought 2 sets of these. As I said, there was an offer on them, and I thought, like, okay, I'm gonna invest in them, because I use knitting blocks, or like knitting mats, a lot. And yeah, sometimes I do feel like I don't have enough of those mats to fit my garments or my shawls on them. Well, the garments mostly have fitted, but I have come short many of times when it comes to shawls, and then I have to be creative, and yeah. So that is an investment that I know I'm gonna enjoy a lot. And actually, I forgot to talk about this. I did purchase another yarn. This is actually like one of my knits to be cast on They're either sooner than later. I have another one there. I'm a little bit all over the place. I apologize. But I spoke about this yarn last time, which I had bought from Garnbutikken Fortuna. This beautiful blend of merino fine merino, and 20% silk. And I was talking about making like a shawl out of it, and I showed you a pattern that I was thinking that I will utilize it in. But then a knitted tee that I have been like thinking about for a long time kind of came back on my radar. And one of the podcasts that I have spoken about it a lot is actually Finnish Knitting Stories, and it's the Caramelli tee by Anna Johanna. So what I did was that I do have this, and this is gonna be enough for the main color, but I didn't have anything to match, kind of like I didn't have right weight yarn. I have like mostly like heavier weight yarns, like than this what it calls for. So I did order a skein of just undyed luxury merino, which is also a 80% merino and 20% silk blend from Kvitlamme. That's the same that I had the Äppleblomst, or the apple flower, from. To go with this. And yeah, I will put a picture on the screen. So Caramelli tee, it's a super simple tee, and with the lace little detail there, which I think is very cute, to just to add that little pop in a way. And what better yarn to use than this sort of pure merino combined with silk? I mean, like, can it get any better? So that was my purchase, so that I can use it with this one. So that is gonna be one of my cast-ons very soon. I have purchased the pattern for Caramelli tee. It's been in my favorites for, I would say, years. I think it came out for quite many years ago. I'm not exactly sure how many, but that is something I am really looking forward to knitting. And also, I believe this is actually my final purchase. I think so. Oh, I have a gift as well. Oh, I cannot forget that. This is a huge segment. I'm sorry. I bought this beautiful yarn. This is a hand-spun yarn by Ulveig. This is a blend of merino, silk, glitter and tencel. Isn't she a beauty? I was just like, I had to have it. Ulveig is there. She also sells Angora yarns. She has like they have their own Angoras, which they take very good care of, and there is no harm done to those rabbits. And they gather their fur and make it into yarn, and they sell that. And she has fibers that she sells as well. But I thought this could go together with what I showed you last time, which is those yarns by Short Fibers, this set there with the pinks and stuff. I'm still like thinking like how I'm gonna utilize those yarns, if I'm gonna make the Trollfjord sweater as I was talking about, or if it's gonna be something else. I don't know. But I just couldn't, I just had to have that yarn. It was so pretty, and it goes so very nicely with like somewhere in between here or there, like down there in that fade. It's gonna be beautiful. But I'll see what I make of it in the end. Also, I had my birthday not long after I podcasted last, and my friend, one of my from my knit circle, she gave me this beautiful yarn from Lang Yarns, which is Mille Colori Socks and Lace Luxe, and it's this greenish, oh my god, you can really truly see the glitter in this. It has greens and pinks and some beautiful deep purplish colors in there as well, like you can see here. Just below that dark, there's a beautiful purple. You can just barely tell. It's hard to show. Yeah, it's hard to show. Not sure if I want to make socks out of this, or if I want to make a shawl out of it, or maybe use it in a sweater of sort. I'm not sure. It's gonna take some thinking, something special for sure. Now I'm done with purchases. Can you imagine? I think I don't know how for how long I've been going on, but I purchased a lot. I've also purchased some patterns, but I will come back to them, I think, once I start on them, because it's just too much. I've gone a little bit cuckoo crazy with the patterns. So yeah, if that is your jam and you don't want to hear about what I've been up to, then you're very welcome to leave. Thank you for hanging out this far, and I hope to see you again next time. And life-wise, for those who are interested in that, I'm gonna knit on my Magnolia bloom sleeve while chitter-chatter with you. Life, I have been to Kvelde, the yarn shop called Garnfene, twice since last. And one of the times when I went there, I reached out to Giverny from the podcast called Gunnis Englistrick, and I was like, since I'm already, so to say, halfway to your place, which is not right, like when you look at the times and whatever, how about I come and visit you? And she was up to it, so we did. First we went there, we chitter-chattered, we were there quite early during the day, we chitter-chattered with Tone and Heidi from Garnfene. Had such a lovely time, and then after a while a lot of other beautiful knitters came, and it was such a beautiful day. And we stayed there late, and it's not a short drive from there to where Giverny lives, so we were home late. But it was all worth it. It was so fun, and we had a great time at the knitting cafe, and then we spent several days together, knitting, chatting, visiting this beautiful yarn shop that's built in a barn. I've talked about it before, but it's Garnloven. Super beautiful place. Love it. And we did end up the Twine line I bought from there, and some patterns I also bought from there, among them the pattern for that dress for my niece that I'm knitting. It was such a great time there. It's always a pleasure to visit her. We have so much fun. Well, at least I do. I think we both have fun. It's not like only me enjoying myself, but no, the days just went by so quickly, and yeah, it was so much fun. So good for my mental health to be outside of my home and do something different, and it's always fun to meet like-minded people and people who love to nerd about knitting. So that was a couple days out there, and then I came back and actually had a wonderful experience with a theater piece. It was actually like a finishing theater piece for one of my girls. She has her last year in theater school this year, so that was like the finals or this exam or like kind of piece that they had put together. Not sure how you say that correctly, but it was such it was one of the best pieces I've seen in a long time. It was written by one of the instructors there, and he said also, like, go into this piece with an open mind, don't think too much, don't try to make sense of what you're seeing, because the more you try, the less you will understand. And it was this, like, absolutely amazing piece, mind-blowing, like at times, like how they had put things together. And yeah, I was amazed at what they had achieved, and it was such a both fun and thought-provoking piece. Yeah, super fun. Was super proud of her. So a little bit of a cultural experience there, which was super fun. My man actually went and saw it like a second time the day after, because there were still some tickets available, because they were quite sold out, but I think it was, yeah, anyway, he went and saw it one more time. So, and also her sister saw it one more time, her mother saw it one more time. So yeah, it was a great piece, worth seeing several times, because it is one of those pieces or like one of those books you have to almost read one more time to make sense of what you had read. Or yeah, it just makes you think and makes you feel all kind of emotions. It was, yeah, very beautifully executed. So that was fun. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, then the second time I ended up being to Kvelde was actually again Giverny, who reached out, or we were chitter-chatting back and forth, and she's like, would you like to come to Kvelde and meet Edrun? Edrun is another podcaster who has a podcast called Garnhaugen here on YouTube. She podcasts in Norwegian as well, she podcasts in Norwegian, and absolutely worth a watch. Where was I getting with that? So I have followed her for a little while. I've seen her on the screen. We have exchanged some snaps, because I was asking her about her vertices the other night, because I think she had knitted in Finul garn as well from Rauma, and I was just wondering about the sizes, because I didn't want the super huge size and didn't want it to be too small. And I was just like, what is your experience? What is the wingspan of that shawl? So we had spoken like a little bit back and forth, but not a huge lot. And so I turned up there. Nobody else but Giverny knew that I was coming. So it was fun to see also some other beautiful people there, like among them it was Karianne and Vigdis from Toretto and Vrang, which is another Norwegian podcast here. And those ladies I have met quite a few times, and I really appreciate them as people and what they bring of as in creativeness and with the projects they choose, because they are very different, but at the same time the same, kind of like with Vigdis. I agree a lot with her on her color choices, and I love that she chooses a little bit different kind of patterns, and maybe, so to say, everybody else does, and that is inspiring. And Karianne, I'm amazed about like her speed of knitting. It's just amazing. She produces so much and so many beautiful things, and she has so much knowledge, and it's just always a pleasure to watch her as well. So and to meet her, yeah, I feel like I lost my thread somewhere there. And I've had some other meetings as well. I got to meet another podcaster that I have been following for a long time, but never met in person, and that's Trine Merete from Ren Perleklete. She was in Oslo area, so we met up. I think we were 7 of us that met up for a meal and knit and chat and nerding about like nerdy things, like knitting things, I mean, and getting to know each other better. Oh yeah. So yeah, I've had a lot of like really lovely, well, a lot. I've had a few nice knitting cafe or knit and chat kind of experiences these last weeks, which have been really nice. Because because as I said before, there's a reason why I haven't been maybe knitting on big garments, and there's been a lot of small things that I've been knitting, is because I've had a lot of pains, aches and pains. Not the back pain that I mentioned, but more like the general aches and pains that have been more. Yeah, I've just had more pains. I have like an unofficial diagnosis of fibromyalgia. Those who know, I guess, and if you don't, then you can maybe look up. I don't have the proper terminology for it in English, so I'm not going to try to attempt to explain this too much. But yeah, I've had a lot of discomfort due to that, and it's been nicer to knit on small things. And also I could have, like, knitted on this sweater because I was feeling okay health-wise, in that sense, when I went to Kvelde to meet Giverny, but both her and I are allergic to alpaca, so I wasn't going to do that to her, and I had plenty other things to knit on, so I didn't need to bring that one in particular with me. But yeah, now I've been taking my allergy medicine, and I'm working on getting this done, because I do want to have the finished project. I'm looking forward to gifting it, because I know she is a worthy receiver. But yeah, so health-wise, it's been okay to a degree. But yeah, I've had a lot of aches and pains. I've struggled with functioning properly during days, which is not a great feeling, because it doesn't only affect the body, it also affects my mind for sure, because I get more tired naturally. Having pains, it does drain you for energy. So I see that I struggle when I get really tired. I guess most people do experience that you struggle more with finding words. I was trying to say proverbs or stuff, and I suddenly couldn't make sense in my head. I couldn't find the words. I couldn't put it together into a good sentence of any sort, and yeah, it just makes me feel stupid. It's like, I know I'm not a stupid woman, but I do sometimes feel a little bit stupid due to the fact that I just can't say cohesive sentences, and it's not a great feeling at all. What else? I don't think there is much more to tell. Well, not that I can think of the top of my head. I might come to think of something just after I have spoken about it, but yeah. I am doing some de-stashing these days. That is something I can mention very passing by. One is the alpaca yarns. I have this very beautiful skein of yarn that I was hoping that maybe it'd be fine, because I have knitted a shawl out of it before, and I can't remember having any reactions to it back then. But when I put that up to my face, the other skein that I still have left, unfortunately, I'm probably gonna be destashing as well. So if you're interested in maybe doing a swap of sorts or anything, I will link the yarns. You have the stash bit in Ravelry under one of those tabs. You have the stash or will gift or trade or whatever it calls, that tab is called. I will put yarns in there, so if you're interested in doing maybe a swap of sorts, don't hesitate to reach out. There's this it's just they are beautiful yarns, but for some reason they don't speak to me anymore, and maybe I've evolved in a different direction, or maybe I've purchased something online and the yarn in itself maybe is beautiful, but when it comes home and I put it up to my face, it just drains my face for color, and that's never a good thing, and especially if you have a sweaty quantity of something. So I'm thinking, yeah, if you want to trade or something, have a look in my Ravelry stash under will trade or sell, and maybe we can do a trade of sorts. Is there anything else? I might be joining a knit along, but I think I will come back to that as well. Like, I have purchased the I bought myself into the knit along because it is something I have kind of purchased. I haven't gotten like, of course you don't have any pattern, hello. But I haven't decided upon, I think I'm probably gonna go through it, but I haven't like decided on which yarns or which colors. It is primarily like a sport weight yarn that it calls, well, like, not primary, the pattern calls for sport weight yarn, or like the type of yarn that is Finulgarn from Rauma. But I have some Finulgarn, I have some Villasillat garn, I have some yarn from Holst, and I'm trying to see if I can put together a palette. I think the palette calls for, it's 2 main colors, and then, well, like, you have 1 main color, and of course you have this contrasting color, but they are like the colors that you use the most of. But then you have, was it 14 or 16 colors in addition to those that you add, and I think it is a kofte or like a cardigan. So, but I think I will show pictures and talk about it more once I decide if actually I'm gonna go through with it, and once I've chosen the color palette that I will work with, because right now I don't really have anything to show for. So, and I have some more like future plans for dream knits. I am thinking about dabbling into petite knit world. I haven't purchased, I think I have only purchased the petite knit, the Oslo hat pattern, but I'm thinking that maybe I would like to make the anchors sweater by her. I have some yarn that I've thought about that would be beautiful for that. And I also have thought about knitting a sorrel. I do not remember now who the write it on the screen, because I have some beautiful yarn that I bought without any plan really. Then I added up like another skein of the yarn that I had bought without the proper plan, and then I decided I didn't want to make what I had thought of, and then I thought maybe I'll make a sorrel, because that I think would be really cool, and I would actually wear it. And what I'm referring to is that I actually started to think about knitting a brioche shawl out of like merino sock yarn, like sock yarn in merino wool. But I decided that it's gonna be so heavy. I don't want it to be that heavy. That I would rather have the shawl that I had thought about knit out of maybe a like lamb's wool, because that is lighter and it's warm and it's like different kind of a beast in a way. And also, like, if it's gonna be that big, I want it to be, I want it to be lighter. I don't want it to be heavy. So I have some like plans going ahead that are from my stash, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna use only my stash, but I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to knit what I have, because I do have a lot of beautiful yarn, and like I said before, I'm trying to also do some destashing, because if something doesn't speak to you, then you know, I'm sure there is somebody out there who would love to have those yarns, because they are beautiful yarns. It's just they don't speak to me anymore, and if I haven't used it for so many years, probably not gonna do it for another year, so maybe never. So I'm thinking that's a good way of using up your yarns, or like making space for yarns that actually make your heart sing with joy. But yeah, is there anything more to bubble about? Don't think so. I think I kept you here for long enough. If you're still hanging on all the way to this end, thank you so much for being here, for commenting, for subscribing. And you know, it never hurts to leave a comment, because sometimes I like to do surprise giveaways, and I maybe have some giveaways planned coming or going ahead. But first and foremost, like, if you want to comment just because you want to comment, because those are the comments that usually are the best comments. Yeah, I think it's about time to say thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.